I'm Susan Carlisle, and I write medicals, and my latest release is Mending the ER Doctor's Heart. So today I'm going to show you how to set a festive Christmas table. This is my family's table, and it's two 10-foot tables, 4 feet wide, and it sits the 17 members of my immediate family. My husband and I decided to get a table this large because we didn't want any kiddie tables where all of our family sits together. It doesn't matter what your age is or anything like that. You're all welcome at the table. And it's one of our most pleasurable moments as parents. Today, I'm going to decorate one end of the table to show you what I do for table decorations for the holidays. And the first thing I do is I pick a theme. And my theme this year is going to be around this large silver deer. And I'm going to set him to the side so that I don't accidentally knock him over. I remove all the chairs, pull them back from your table, and the reason why is because you need room to move around. And if you're always reaching over the chairs, then that makes it more difficult to set the table. If you can commandeer some help, it's always nice to have that as well. I had my granddaughters help me before, and it went really nicely. Plus, they got to learn the correct way to set a table. I use a tablecloth at Christmas, and a lot of people will use placemats. Some people even double up on a placemat and a tablecloth together. I think you should pick one or the other. Now that's my opinion, and I think that you don't need a placemat if you have a tablecloth. So I have purchased online for a minimal amount of money 2 red tablecloths that fit my tables. Now, and you can buy these tablecloths in all kinds of colors for any type of holiday, and you can also do put different tablecloths together if necessary. But I have a red one for Christmas. Moving the chair out of the way, an example of why you should do it all at the same time. Please pay attention to putting your tablecloth on so that it is even on both sides and on both ends. You do not realize that it makes a difference until you have company or somebody comes in and they will pay attention to that. So I've got my tablecloth on here. And that's your base, and the reason it's important is because it is your base. You want to always work from the bottom up. Now, because I have so many people at my house, I use mix and match dinnerware. I have a lot of dinnerware that I have had handed down from my grandparents on both sides. Because and I also have through the years bought some stuff for myself. I have some Christmas plates, but they are trimmed out in gold, and because I have a silver deer, I'm sticking with the red and silver. So these were my wedding gifts, which are obviously silver. And then I also have some plates that are red castle plates, meaning they have castles on them, and so I am going to do these in every other one. So I'm going to have 4 people on each side, and then my husband sits on the end down here. So as I go around, everybody gets a plate. Preferably, if you can, if you have enough room, I recommend you sit a person between each place crossways. That gives you just gives you a nicer looking table. That doesn't always work, but it is a thought if you get an opportunity. So I have my plates set at every other one. The next thing I add is my silverware, and this happens to be my grandmother's silver, but I also have some additional inexpensive gold silverware that I use, and I'm talking about 21 place settings for $100, 20 years ago. So you can find stuff. You also can find, you say, okay, I don't have the silverware and stuff that she's talking about. You go to the dollar store. This glassware that I'm using today is $1. That makes it really easy to share your grandchildren to drink out of this, and you not worry about whether or not it is broken. So keep that in mind. The dollar stores, or a flea markets, a lot of places will sell you a whole thing of china. If you are mixing and matching, then you can get all kinds of different stuff. So anyway, fork, dinner fork. It goes down on the left-hand side. And actually, I'm doing this wrong already. Before we put the forks down, I have chosen this time to put napkins out to the side. So they would go first. Now, I'm using cloth napkins, and I believe in cloth napkins, not that you can't use the paper ones, but the cloth napkins elevate your meal. And these are particularly large ones. You can find these at craft stores. You can get a package of them at discount stores, but I particularly like the large ones. Now, the only caveat to using these nice linen white napkins is if we're having barbecue or eating something with ketchup or those types of items, I don't use a white napkin. I have some in a darker color that will cover up a few of the sins of the use. But you can put a napkin across the table, and you can look in magazines and they'll show you all kinds of ways. Some people can make swans. I have made a swan, but you have to starch the napkin really hard to be able to pull that off. But some people will put a napkin and hang it underneath the plate. There's many different ways, but the one thing that I have found through the years is that the people, when I set the table and stuffed a napkin into their drink cup like this, they did not like it. Most of them wanted to use their drink cup even before they got their food, and they didn't appreciate it. So I don't recommend that. It makes a pretty table, but my company wasn't as happy. So today I am setting it with the cloth napkin to the edge of the table, all the way around, and obviously everybody gets one, and no matter your age at my table, young and old, that's a napkin. And yes, I launder them and I iron them, but ironing can be therapeutic, but you can always send them out to the cleaners. In fact, mine probably could use a little adjustment from the cleaners, because a nice starched napkin is a good thing. So everybody has gotten a napkin. Then it is time for the dinner forks. These are going to be your longer forks. If you've got more than one type of fork, it goes on the napkin, and they go all the way around, about an inch or two from the end of the table, and I move them around. Can you